We have more details tonight about a Northwest Territories MLA who was harassing nursing staff at a health center in his constituency. The N.W.T. Integrity Commissioner made that conclusion in a report. He also found that the MLA launched a campaign to have a nurse fired and that he violated the code of conduct for MLAs. Luke Carroll has been covering this for us and he joins me now live with more. So Luke, tell me about the background of this report.
So Richard Ajericon is the MLA for Tuna de Willowday. This includes the small hamlet of Fort Resolution where he was alleged to have breached his conduct. So the 39-page report found that Ajericon had spread falsehoods about the nurse in charge of the health center. Her name is Jennifer Patterson. He claimed to have heard numerous concerns from constituents with serious allegations, including that she sent a woman home who was pregnant, who gave birth in a bathtub later that day, and that she refused to treat someone who had a heart attack who died as a result. But these were all found to be unsubstantiated.
And in what ways did Ajericon spread these stories?
So one of those ways involved letters. He was sending out letters calling for Patterson's removal and then getting leaders in the community to sign these letters, which made it look like they had written them. He also invited a reporter for NNSL who wrote a story about the allegations that he had raised. They didn't name Patterson in the story, but it was clearly directed at her as the nurse in charge. So because of all these allegations, the nurse, Jennifer Patterson, was suspended without pay and an investigation was held. Ajericon then sent text messages to constituents in the community informing them that Patterson had been suspended. So this was found to violate confidentiality. The Integrity Commissioner's report found that Ajericon may have actually believed these allegations that were brought before him, but didn't verify them, and also made no attempt to truly verify them. The Commissioner found he violated the code of conduct in his role by attacking a member of the public. He could be fined for the incident. The Commissioner has recommended he pay $2,500 and be reprimanded, but it will be up to the Legislative Assembly to decide if he should get that punishment.
So then how did Ajericon respond to this report?
Yeah, so I only spoke with his lawyer, Stephen Cooper, and this is what he had to say.
I mean, he's not happy with the outcome. I mean, he's contrite. He accepts the fact that as a new MLA, he could have done things a bit differently. His concerns are with the underpinnings of the report, not the findings of the report. And those underpinnings, of course, really is the report that was done by the N.W.T. into the initial allegations that Rick and others had brought about the health services in Fort Resolution.
So he says he has issues with the independent report about Ajericon's complaints. So these are what looked into the allegations against Patterson. So that report found the complaints he was raising to be unsubstantiated. And Cooper believes the process for that report was flawed.
The lack of Chipewyan interpreters, therefore basically excluding the elders in the community from either approaching the investigators and in the instance that they did, being comfortable in speaking in their language to the investigators. Why that's important, Luke, is because it was the elders that were the source of many of the complaints that Rick brought to the public notice and which ultimately resulted in the investigation and the conclusions which my client does not accept.
Now, CBC requested a copy of this investigation, but the NTHSSA said it wouldn't be releasing it publicly. So essentially, Cooper said he accepts one report, but not the report that it was based on. Cooper did say that Ajericon feels remorse. He was a new MLA, and he feels bad for what happened, and his intention was never to hurt anyone. He's also issued a news release that kind of details all of this as well, Megan.
Okay, so that's what Ajericon has to say. There is also the nurse at the center of all of this. What is she saying?
Again, so I spoke with her lawyer, Austin Marshall, who spoke on her behalf.
So there's an element in this of uncertainty, if you will, coming from MLA Ajericon and how willing and sincere he is to be governed.
So the harm she experienced is detailed in these documents. It says, her reputation was hurt. She ended up leaving the community and has since left the N.W.T. The investigation into Ajericon's complaints against her found that nurses at the healthcare station were receiving regular verbal abuse, including death threats. and that Patterson needed RCMP assistance to get her belongings to move out of the community. It also found that Patterson was threatened with physical harm by someone and that charges were laid and it resulted in a peace bond, Megan.
Okay, thank you for all your work on this, Luke.
Thanks, Megan.